I was going to tell a story on here about being in Australia, and I told it on the other show, but whatever, I'll still tell it. So when I was in Australia, they were asking me like some of the crazy shit, like, oh, you live in Australia, like, how's that? And I'm like, oh, I almost got deported for lighting a guy on fire. And then obviously their eyes wide, like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I don't know if you guys have seen this, the human candle I did. It's not my video, it's Jeffabelle's, but I helped. It was fucking in the place I lived, and then I was in some of it because why not? You light a man on fire, you're not going to say no to that. So we were walking down a street in Australia. Oh, first of all, we had 500 candles. I should mention that part. I think it was maybe more. I don't know. We had at least 500 candles, and we put them all over the countertops of the apartment. We lit them all on fire, and they all started melting until they were just hot, steaming steel cups, aluminum, some flimsy bullshit. They're like little cups of boiling fucking hot wax. And we had them, all 500 plus of them. And Jeffabelle sits in a chair. We just start dropping them on him. He's just getting head to toe covered in boiling hot wax. And he sits there like a champ. And we just dump him on his head. 500 of these fucking things. It was me and Max Mofo dumping it on his head, and he sat there, and it was honestly like you couldn't see him. There were white candles with a bit of red ones because he wanted to look a little fucked up, but mostly white, and you couldn't see. It looked like an old candle, like, you know, it was like old, like a big candle, but it's been used forever, and it just looks like a big, thick, yellowy, white piece of dried up shit. That was Jeffabelle. A dried up white piece of shit is what Jeffabelle looked like. And he had, like, honestly, like 500 candles dropped all over him, and he just sat there, and we started pouring him on his balls because someone told us it would be funny, and they were right, apparently. But he's covered. And then we stuck a tiki torch on his head and marched him down the street like a fucking champion. And we walked down the street, and we soaked the tiki torch in gas or whatever it was, light it on fire. He's walking down a main street in Perth, Australia, and cars obviously start slowing down a little bit. And one was a cab, and he just sat there and looked at us, and I thought he's enjoying the show of this man on fire walking down the street, which is a fucking spectacle, obviously. But he didn't look like he was enjoying it. He looked like, what the fuck? But not like, what the fuck? He was there for a long time. Like, drive by, what the fuck was that? Oh, that's weird. I don't know. Let's go home and get some fucking sushi and watch Netflix. But he sat there and, like, watched it, but he wasn't enjoying it. So I was like, okay, he's doing something. And then it came to the point where I fire extinguished Jeffabelle because he was fucking engulfed in flames. And then I ran. I threw the fire extinguisher in a church bush, outside a church, and I went home. I ran home because I had a bad fucking feeling about this cab driver. Get home, nothing, and I sit down, and I get a text saying, you left? 30 seconds later, the cops show up. Like, I don't know, my spidey senses were going fucking ape shit. Cops show up, apparently. They book it wherever. Like, Jeff's covered in fucking wax. I don't know how the fuck he got out of that. They run. They're like, hey, they shoot me a text. They say, hey, they don't know about you. They're looking for whatever. Just walk down the street, have a cigarette. Let us know if you see any cops. And as I was, like, kind of, like, hesitantly leaving, because I was like, I don't want to fucking get involved, because, like, they're all from Perth. If I got arrested, I was going to get fucking deported for lighting a man on fire and walking down the street on the flimsiest visa you can get the fuck out. So I'm like, I don't know, man. And as I'm, like, texting them, what's up? Where are you guys, first of all? Like, I was waiting to know where to go. Like, where the fuck are you? And they're obviously running, so they weren't, like, sitting there on their phone. Like, I had to wait a couple minutes. And in those couple minutes, I hear doors shut, car doors shut, and cops knocking on our door. And I hid in a fucking corner on the floor between my couch and a wall, and I hear them talking through the window because it's fucking 35 degrees outside, Celsius for you, everyone but Americans. So it's so fucking hot. So I can hear these cops talking about there's a towel on our fucking balcony railing. So they're like, well, someone lives here. Someone lives right around the corner. Maybe we should talk to them. Maybe we should fucking go and say hi to these people who live up above there with the fucking, who look like crazy people. But thank God, they didn't knock on my, well, they did knock on my door. I didn't fucking answer it though, obviously, because if they came upstairs, they would have seen 500 fucking candles laying around in a room full of fucking wax, covered in wax. All the wax didn't stay on Jeff. It went like a volcano just down him, covered the floor, covered the walls because we were throwing it everywhere. These guys were looking for a man covered in wax who was lit on fire, and they came and saw my apartment. They would have been like, case closed. It was so blatantly obvious. So I just fucking hid there. So they fuck off because I didn't answer, and they're like, well, it could be anybody. We thought we'd say hi, but whatever. So they fucking leave. And I'm looking out the window. I'm like, okay, they're gonna do that trick where one cop stays, thinking, and so when the guy comes to see if the coast is clear, they go, ah, hey, fuck face, and then I get caught. I thought it was that, so I was like, I don't give a fuck. I hear car doors, I hear the car leave. I know I quote unquote know that there's one motherfucker still out there, so I'm staying right here until I don't know. I'm just gonna stay right here. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna maybe look out the window. I actually do think I took my phone and like recorded a video and just kind of like poked it over the windowsill and like looked around. I did do that. I think I still have the video. It's nothing because they actually did leave. So I'm kind of getting up. I'm crawling through the apartment so that if they are there, they don't see me through the window or a shadow or anything. And then the guys come home. But of course the guys come home like assholes and they bust in yelling Perth police and some shit. But, you know, they had the code for the door, so I wasn't too freaked out. But yeah, having someone burst in the door, Perth police, while you're hiding from the Perth police, it gets you for a little second there. I shit my pants a little bit, but then I suck that shit right back in my asshole because I'm like, you motherfuckers know the PIN code. Cops don't know the PIN code or the fucking electronic door code, whatever you call it, the PIN code. So they come in and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And then they're like, well, we ran, obviously, and then the cops left. I'm like, okay, well, the Perth police obviously don't give too much of a fuck about a man on fire walking down the street. And they're like, yeah, I guess not. So then we just kind of like exhaled and we laughed a little bit. And then we did not go outside for about 3 weeks. We just hid, and we didn't even clean the apartment. It was a fucking mess for like a month after that. But what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna fucking do?